Ty Bartel with Anthony Hartwig as we have another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we go into the EBC's conference with the boys' side of the hoops with head coach Scott Loudon of the West Branch Warriors. Coach, how we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on board.
Thank you for joining us, Coach. As I like to always start off in the practice question, just because we're in that kind of time of the season right now. Practices are getting underway. I know you guys with a successful football team. There's some waiting you got to do, but for what you expect this team to be, obviously waiting on some football guys. What can you expect from West Branch basketball this year?
It will be pretty athletic. Looking forward to playing fast, hopefully. We'll share the ball pretty well. We've got a lot of unselfish players. Got some kids that can shoot the three ball pretty effectively. And then we've got some size to go along. So, everything goes well. We expect to be pretty fun to watch.
Coach, it's your first year. So the first year is always about, building your culture, your philosophies, instilling that into a team. What's that been like for you in the summers and now in the first, week or so of getting the kids that you do have into the gym?
Summer, was interesting because I was a late hire, so I was not around the kids a whole heck of a lot. Got around to know most of them. Some were gone for vacation or they had football events, baseball, whatever, and so it's been a challenge. Some of the non-football players, I've been around more here as we went through the early fall into the start of the season. And it's been challenging to develop a rapport because, of course, I don't get to see the about half of our team very often. But that's part of the deal. This football team's generally pretty successful here at West Branch, and it's great for the kids. It's great for the community, and it's not a big deal to work around. Main thing is whenever we get them that we get on board fast and get moving and get ready to play games.
Yup, that success carries over, no doubt. You're gonna have to try to install like Loudonomics on them real quick, right in the practice schedule. Obviously, that's going to present some challenges for you, but what is the adjustment like for a coach then in this situation to get the most effectiveness out of your guys by the time you do get those football guys back? And obviously for West Branch, you're hoping you don't get them back till really late.
Right. Yeah. Ideally, it's going to be a few more weeks before we get them back. They're fun to watch on a football field, just like they're fun to watch on the basketball court. The main thing for us is to get as much installed as we can with the guys that are there. And that way, when the other guys get here, whether that's next week, whether that's 3 weeks from now, their learning curve is going to be made a lot easier. And so that's the main goal. The guys that we have right now will be able to help them along and make things as easy as possible. As we plan on playing on the 1st of December. So we'll want to get them ready very quickly.
With the football team being so successful, you're probably going to have to do some scrimmages without those guys. What are you going to learn from that? What are you going to do to kind of try to get maybe some role players involved and get them at least used to having to play maybe a bigger role than they will all season just in the scrimmage?
Right, that's a part of it I think will be good for some of our players that we anticipate to be role players is they're going to have to step up and they're going to have to play at the top of their game in the scrimmages. And if, God forbid something happens and we lose players, either foul trouble, injury, illness, whatever, we have that in our back pocket that we have role players that we can insert in there and we're going to keep playing the same way we want to play. Maybe a little different effectiveness, but still a high level of effectiveness.
I know you just got into the reins of this position, no doubt, but I'm sure you know that the EBC conference, always a fun conference, always a competitive basketball conference, both on the boys and the girls side. What do you see from the conference perspective this season? How do you feel the Warriors are going to fit into it?
I'll be honest. I think we have the players that if we're not up near the top of the conference, we're going to be disappointed. I think we're as good as anybody, whether that shows on the floor. Obviously, that's why we play the games. But I know me personally, I'm going to be pretty disappointed if we're not playing to be in the top 1 or 2 at the end of the year. But it'll be a pretty competitive league. We've got some nice teams. We've got some nice players, and it'll be fun.
This is gonna kind of be our like debut of watching your coach basketball team. So, what's your brand of basketball? What's kind of your basketball philosophy? What should we expect out of teams coached by you?
I'm not real set in one solid philosophy. I try and coach to what my players can do. If I feel we can get up and down, then absolutely that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give them freedom. I'm going to let them make their mistakes and learn from them. If we don't have the athletes and basketball players to do that, we're going to lock it down a little bit more, and we'll play slower. We'll limit the opportunities to make mistakes, but I think it's best, we don't recruit players. It's not like at the college level where you can pick a certain type of player. One year we may be scoring 75 points a game. Next year we may be scoring 40. I'd rather score 75 though.
Everyone would, I think.
Yeah.
Are you a firm believer of success breeds success? Do you feel the success of this football team has the potential to have that carryover effect to the basketball team?
I think it plays a big part, yeah. And we have a large portion of our team will be coming through that, and that definitely helps. They have high expectations for their performances, and they're going to carry those high expectations into basketball season. And I look forward to that. I know their teammates are going to look forward to it, and it will make us a better team.
Coach, we've talked about your league and the conference. Let's talk about some non-conference teams that pop up on your schedule that you're really excited about and is going to be a good test for your boys.
Canfield's one that you mark on the schedule a little bit. They're really close. Coach Collins, a fantastic coach. Actually played AAU for him way back in the day. I really enjoyed that season that I did that with him, and so that's one of them. And probably the primary one. That's a good test for us as we play some teams up that way, because our district will be up that way. So that's probably where I'd start and stop.
Becoming a head coach is a two-way street. A school's got to want you, but you got to want a school as well. What made West Branch such a good fit for you?
Well, I've lived here my whole life, so that makes it a lot easier. I played at West Branch, and again, long time ago. I coached basketball at West Branch up until 8 years ago at the freshman and JV level. I've coached baseball there since around 2000. All three of my kids went there and graduated there. So it's an easy choice for me.
It's got to be so exciting then for you to have this head coaching reign now. What's the feeling like for you as that opening tip-off rapidly approaches that you're going to be taking the sidelines as the head skipper of the Warriors now?
I'll be pretty excited at that point. I'm not generally an outwardly emotional guy, but I would guess when we're ready for that opening tip at home, I'll probably be sitting down to make sure just don't pass out or anything.
Yeah, please don't pass out.
Don't need that.
Don't need that. Coach, I want to give you the chance to also shine a light on your coaching staff, the people that would have to take over if that happened. Who you put together for this job, and who are the people that are helping you make this program what you want it to be?
So Daniel Loudon is going to be my varsity assistant. He's a young guy that I coached back when he was a sophomore on the JV team. Enjoyed having him back then. And then I watched him play as he graduated from Salem, and loved the way he played, loved the way that he turned into the player that he was. And he's young, which is going to be a real advantage because I'm not young. And some of my other members of my staff, not real young. And that's okay. But I think he's going to relate to the kids real well. He has some experience through Mount Union working with Coach Fueline, which will be hugely beneficial. Just, some of the things they do, some of the approaches they take. And I can pull that from Daniel. He's been great with the kids so far. Look forward to him really working with them on a day-to-day basis once we get everybody all together. My JV coach will be Brad Smith. I've known and worked with Brad forever. We actually, when he was a senior in high school, I played JV when he was playing varsity. So I've known him since, I was 15 years old or whatever. We've coached together some over the years, either him and the varsity assistant, JV, me as a freshman coach. And so, heck, he was in my wedding. So somebody I definitely trust. And I know he's the type that when I'm wrong, he's not going to hesitate to tell me, and that'll be a big plus for me, in my opinion. I don't need somebody just telling me, "Oh no, you're right, you're right." It's good to have Brad there because he'll definitely tell me, "Scott, you're walking the wrong direction, buddy." So
you always need a few guys like that too, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm fortunate enough, Mike Velasca, that used to be a head coach here at West Branch, he's come on kind of as a volunteer basis and willing to help whatever he needs to do. And again, he's great with the kids and gives a lot of insight, both just from the head coaching perspective and a lot of things that we may do, both defensively and offensively.
Well, Coach, my final question for you before we let you go this evening is just the love of the game, right? It's the theme of this year for me and the basketball coaches. It's the reason why we keep coming back each and every season, no matter our role in the sport of basketball. It seems like you have some long roots in this sport. Where did the love of the sport of basketball start for you? Do you have a pinpoint moment or a time frame?
Oh boy, I wouldn't say a pinpoint moment, but I know when I was just young, 5, 6, 7, 8. My neighbors had a basketball hoop, and I was over there all the time, rain, shine, snow, and I've always enjoyed it. You can play basketball 1-on-0, 5-on-5, 2-on-2, whatever, and it's hard to get that in a lot of sports. And I've been it's been a big part of my life ever since I was in that 5, 6, 7-year-old range. It's been a lot of fun over the years.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for the time that you take out of your day, out of your night to come on and give us a preview of Warriors basketball. I know we here at YSM we're going to be rooting for you and the success of the Warriors all season long, and I'm sure we're going to cross paths again real soon.
Sure.
Both Anthony and I are going to be all over the place for it, so YSN will get you covered this season, no doubt.
Gotcha, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Coach, and we appreciate you. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the West Branch Warriors boys basketball head coach, Mr. Scott Loudon.